In continuation of our topics in Chapter 4, we are now on the assessing grammatical errors. So, we can assess grammatical errors and emphasize instruction in two main ways. We have the discrete point assessment and integrative assessment. Let us first discuss the discrete point assessment. So this assessment involves evaluating the student's understanding of specific elements of language or grammar rules such as spellings, tenses, vocabulary, and word categories separately. A discrete point grammar test aims or focuses on testing the knowledge of individual grammar points or vocabulary words rather than assessing the overall language proficiency. So this approach in assessing grammatical errors allows us teachers to pinpoint the areas where students may need additional instruction or practice. It also allows teachers to design the teaching strategies accordingly to address the students' needs. So we can use discrete point assessment through various methods like quizzes, tests, exercises, or drills that target the specific grammar rules. It will provide concrete feedback on the student's strengths and weaknesses. We have here some example of items of discrete point assessment questions that focus on the specific language components. Let us analyze these items. So in question number 1, it assesses the knowledge of verb tense. The correct answer is has. For present tense, agreement. For question number 2, it assesses the understanding of pronoun agreement. Its is the correct answer to match the singular noun committee. In question number 3, comprehension of vocabulary and context is assessed here. So the correct answer depends on our understanding of the meaning of subservient and the appropriate amount to give. In question number 4, it evaluates knowledge of historical figure and their contributions. So letter C is the correct answer, which is based on our understanding of William Caxton's role in spreading the information and literature. For the last question, number 5, it assesses the understanding of verb tense in a sentence. The correct answer is watched. So discrete point assessment allows teachers to assess a wide range of learning items and detailed quickly. It provides objective measurements and allows for accurate evaluation of specific language components. It is crucial for teachers to consider the purpose behind using assessment and ensure that it aligns with their instructional goals and objectives. Next, integrative assessment. So, integrative assessment focuses on evaluating students' ability to apply their knowledge and skills in real-life scenarios. This involves designing tasks and assignments that closely resemble authentic communication situations, both in terms of receptive and productive skills. So, receptive skills are listening and reading, while productive skills are speaking and writing. So, the tasks are often designed to imitate real-world communication, such as engaging in conversations, participating in discussions, writing emails, or interpreting text. These tasks require students to use or integrate various aspects of language, including grammar, vocabulary, and discourse strategies to effectively communicate the meaning. Kindly remember the communicative model and the work sample approach that gained popularity through the use of situational tasks where students are placed in specific scenarios and asked to perform tasks that are relevant to those situations. When we say communicative model, it underpins integrative assessment. It emphasizes the importance of meaningful communication rather than just memorization or isolated language practice. So this approach aims to assess the student's ability to language in context and accomplish communicative goals. So work sample approach, it is where students are asked to complete projects or tasks that mirror real-life communication situations. For example, students may be tasked with writing a report, conducting a presentation, or participating in simulated conversations. The role-playing task is also common in integrative assessment, where students assume particular roles and interact with others in simulated scenarios. To ensure accurate and consistent assessment, teachers often use detailed performance rating scales that describe the criteria for evaluating students' performance. These scales may include criteria such as accuracy, fluency, coherence, and appropriateness of language used depending on the nature of the complexity of the task. We have here a sample scoring rubric. Using these scales, teachers can provide constructive feedback and measure students' progress effectively.
Innovation in grammar assessment. The evolving educational landscape, influenced by both local and global crises, has prompted educators to rethink their approach to teaching and learning. In response, curricularists are designing educational strategies to embrace multimodal delivery, catering to diverse learning styles and needs. This shift is towards a responsive curriculum that can adapt to changing circumstances and student requirements. The realm of language assessment, there is a growing recognition of the need of dynamism. This means that assessment should not be static but should instead evolve to meet the demands of modern education. The emphasis is on assessments that encourage independent problem-solving skills among students, rather than simply testing rote memorization. This assessment challenges students to think critically, analyze information, and apply their knowledge in real-world contexts. In essence, the call for dynamism in language assessment reflects a broader trend in education towards fostering skills that are relevant and adaptable to the complexities of the 21st century. Adams and Hale 2020 underscored the importance of educators fostering critical thinking skills among students rather than simply providing them with answers. This approach is challenging but essential for cultivating the intellect of learners. Similarly, Roediger and McDaniel 2014, as referenced in Adams and Hale 2020, argued that learning is most effective when it requires effort and active engagement. This means that meaningful learning is deeply connected to the level of effort students invest in their studies. Given the abundance of information available online, language teachers have the opportunity to design learning experience and that encourage students to apply what they have read or learned in practical contexts. By providing opportunities for active application and problem solving, educators can enhance the depth of longevity of students' learning. The combination of teachers' understanding of discrete point and integrative assessments, along with their proficiency in using technology, provides a significant advantage in language instruction. Technology-aided instruction has been shown to foster greater independence and motivation among students with the abundance of engaging tools and applications available. Teachers can create truly immersive English classes that captivate students' attention and enhance their learning experience. One particularly effective approach is digital game-based learning, which has gained popularity for its interactive nature. These games not only engage students but also serve as a means to assess their ability to apply grammatical knowledge in real-world contexts. By integrating grammar concepts into game scenarios, students are challenged to use their knowledge in practical situations, thereby reinforcing their learning and retention. So let's discuss the four reasons why digital game-based grammar assessment is appealing. Number 1. Motivation through competition. Competition inherently motivates the individuals to perform better. In the context of digital game-based grammar assessment, the competitive elements encourage students to engage with the game and strive to achieve success. Whether it's competing against themselves, their peers, or the game itself. Students are driven to start and finish the game in order to demonstrate their skills and achieve a sense of accomplishment. Number 2. Increase engagement and enjoyment. Games are designed to be entertaining and enjoyable, and integrating grammar concepts into games makes learning more engaging for students. When students are immersed in a game environment where grammatical units are utilized, they are more likely to want to continue playing and have fun while doing so. This increased engagement fosters a positive attitudes towards learning and encourages students to actively participate in grammar assessment activities. Number 3. Immediate feedback. Digital games provide immediate feedback, allowing students to receive information about their performance in real time. This instant feedback excites students and motivates them to continue playing the games to see how well they are doing and where they need to improve. The timely feedback loop also facilitates learning as students can quickly identify and correct any mistakes they make, leading to a deeper understanding of grammar concepts. Number 4. Reinforcement and instant feedback. Reinforcement mechanisms such as reward points or progress indicators are often incorporated into digital games. These reinforcement elements motivate students to engage with the game and work toward achieving specific goals or objectives. Additionally, the instant feedback provided by the game reinforces learning by immediately confirming correct responses and providing guidance on incorrect ones. These reinforcements encourages students to persevere and continue playing the game, leading to improved retention and application of grammatical knowledge in real-world scenario. Overall, these four reasons highlights the appeal of digital game-based grammar assessment as an effective and engaging approach to language education. By leveraging competition, engagement, immediate feedback, and reinforcement, educators can create interactive and motivating learning experience that support student learning and skill development in grammar.
So, under the remember, first is language teachers expand grammatical constructs by going beyond assessment of grammatical form and meaning to grammatical use. So, that means that teachers don't just check if you know what words mean and how they look. They also want to see if you can use those words correctly in sentences and conversations. So example, instead of just asking if you know what a verb is, your teacher might ask you to write a short story using different verb tenses like past, present, and future. So the second bullet is assess grammar functions at the discourse level. So that means that teachers want to see how well you use grammar and longer pieces of writing or speaking, like stories or conversations, not just in short sentences. So example, instead of only looking at single sentences, your teacher might listen to a whole conversation you have with a classmate to see how well you use grammar throughout. So the third bullet is grammatical performance cannot only be measured using discrete point objective test. So it means that your grammar skills can't be judged only by simple multiple choice or fill in the blank test. There's more to it than just picking the right answer from a list. So, example, instead of giving you a test with questions like choose the correct verb form, your teacher might ask you to write a letter or a story to see how well you use grammar in real life situations. So, the fourth bullet is discrete point and integrative assessments are two different approaches to grammar assessment. Each has its own merit and contribution in developing and enhancing students' grammatical competence. So, that means that there are two ways teachers test your grammar. One focuses on single grammar rules at a time, while the other looks at how well you use grammar in general. Both ways help you get better at grammar. So example, one test might ask you to fill in blanks with the correct verb form, while another might ask you to write a short essay where you have to use different grammar rules correctly. Both tests help you learn grammar in different ways.
Integrative assessments are subjective in nature since the assessments format are varied and open-ended. The use of scoring rubrics can lessen the subjectivity of the teacher's ratings. So, scoring rubrics can reduce the subjectivity of a teacher is assessing a student by establishing clear criteria and levels of achievement. So, the student's performance can be evaluated more objectively. Therefore, scoring rubrics provide clearer feedback to the student regarding their performance and areas that need attention. Over the years, the preference is on assessing grammar holistically. So there has been a shift towards assessing holistically rather than focusing solely on isolated grammar errors. So holistic assessments of grammar takes into account the overall effectiveness of communication, considering how well the writer or speaker conveys their intended message and engage the audience. So here are few reasons for this preference. So first is the communication focus. Second is the real life language. Third is the language variation, and fourth is the language development. So it is important to note that holistic assessment of grammar does not mean that grammar is disregarded entirely. Rather, it emphasizes a balanced approach that considers the overall effectiveness of communication while still providing feedback and guidance on areas by improvement in grammar usage. Language assessment must put premium on social use dimension of language, that is, using the language in social context. So language assessments should focus on how well individual can use language in social context. It emphasizes the importance of how effective communication, understanding social cues, and adapting language to different situations. Language is not just about grammar, vocabulary, and pronunciation. It's also about effectively communicating and interactive with others. So by assessing use of social dimension of language, we can evaluate someone's ability to connect with others and function in real-life settings. Language teachers must learn how to adopt and adapt online tools to facilitate language teaching and learning. So, language teachers need to be able to effectively use online tools in their teaching to support language learning. So, this is important because online tools offer new opportunities for engagements, access to resources, flexibility, collaboration, and the development of digital literacy skills. By adapting online tools, teachers can create dynamic and personalized learning environments that enhance language teaching and learning experience. So that would be all po. Thank you.